As you approach your truck, you're going to make sure the wheels are chalked and the keys are in your pocket. You will also make sure the truck is not leaning to either side and there are no visible leaks under your truck. You will check your marker lights and your turn signals to be sure they are amber and that your headlights are clear. Also that they are free of damage and moisture, and you will see that they are operable. You will now raise the hood and go to the right side of the engine. Your alternator and its wiring is secure and in good condition. The belts have no damage and have no more than 3/4 inches of play. The water pump and hoses have no leaks, and the belts are in good condition with no more than 3/4 inches of play. All other belts, hoses, and wires are in good condition with no frays or leaks. Moving to the driver's side of the truck, you will now check your coolant, your power steering fluid, your oil, and your washer fluid levels, to be sure that they are all proper and that all wiring and hoses appear in good condition. You will now check your air compressor. It is gear driven and it is not leaking. You will now check all other belts, hoses, and wiring. Make sure and check and see that your air compressor is gear driven or belt driven. You will now check the following steering components to be sure that they are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All castle nuts connecting them have cotter keys and are in place. Now you will check your steering rod, your gearbox, your hoses, your pitman arm, the drag link, the upper and lower steering arms, and the tie rod. This now completes the steering components. Next, you will check the frame to be sure it has no illegal welds, holes, is not cracked, bent, or broken. Next, the front and rear spring mounts are tight and are not cracked or bent. The leaf springs are in good condition and no more than 1/4 of them are broken or missing and have not shifted out of line. The shock absorber is secure and not leaking. The brake air hose has no cracks or bulges and is not leaking. The brake chamber has no damage or leaks and is secure, including the band. The push rod and slack adjuster are secure and there is no more than 1 inch of free play. The brake drums are free from cracks and the shoes have no less than 1/4 inch pad and are clean. The inner hub oil seal is not leaking, which would be evident if there was oil splatter on the sides of the rims. Also, the inner rim has no cracks, bends, or illegal welds. The inner sidewalls of the tires have no cuts or bulges, and the tread is evenly worn and is at least 4/32 inches deep. The tread depth of 4/32 is only for the front tires. All others are 2/32. The outer wall is in good condition, and the outer rim has no cracks, bends, or illegal welds. All lug nuts are present and are tight. There are no rust marks to indicate looseness, and the outer hub oil seal is not leaking. Your tire is properly inflated to the manufacturer's specifications. Your wipers have good tension, and the wiper blades are in good condition. Your mirrors are secure, clean, and not cracked or broken. Your door opens and closes properly, and the hinges and weather strips are good. You have at least a 10-pound ABC fire extinguisher, 3 reflective triangles, and spare fuses for all circuits. Your battery box is secure, and the batteries are maintenance-free and have no leaks or corrosion. Your steps are secure, and you have drained your air tanks daily. Your header board, cab and cargo areas, and the side bins are secure. Under your truck, the exhaust is secure and it is tight. Also, check to see if there is any soot present, indicating a leak in the exhaust. Your drive shaft is tight and free of foreign objects. All lights and reflectors down the side of your truck are in good condition. You will now check your rear axle parts. Ask the examiner if they'd like you to name all the details or just the parts. You are now checking your front and rear spring mounts, your leaf springs and shocks, the brake hoses and lines, the brake chambers, slack adjusters, still no more than 1 inch of play, the brake drum and linings. You will check your inner and outer tire sidewalls. The tread depth is at least 2/32 of an inch, and your rims, lug nuts, and inner and outer hub oil seals on both of your dual tires. There are no spacers required, and at least 2 inches are between the tires, with no debris, and they are properly inflated. Your splash guards are secure and are in good condition, and are no more than 6 inches off the ground. Moving to the rear of your truck, all of your lights and reflectors, except your license plate light and your backup light, should be red. All lights should be free from moisture and damage and be operable. Any rear doors are secured. Your pintle hook bolts are tight and the pin, jaws, eye hooks, and safety latches are free of cracks and are secure. Your license plate is secured, lit, and is up to date and matches your registration receipt. Now, we're going to move on to the trailer. In this video, we'll be using electric brakes. Air brakes will be checked in the same manner as you did your truck air brakes. You will now check your pintle hitch and the bolts that secure it to the trailer. The safety chains and the hooks are in good condition and are attached to the eye bolts on the truck. The electric cord is free of cuts, frays, and corrosion. The electric brake emergency cable is attached to your truck. The frame is free of bends, cracks, or illegal welds. The trailer's header board is secure and the landing gear is fully raised with the crank handle in the cradle. All D-rings are secure and will hold your load. There is reflective DOT tape no more than 18 inches apart down the side of the trailer, and all the lights and reflectors are in good condition. The trailer in this video has electric brakes. If you have a trailer with air brakes, you will check the hoses, brake chamber, push rod, slack adjuster assembly, brake pads, and drums. You will check the front axle like you did your truck. You will check your front and rear spring mounts and your leaf springs. Your electric brake lines are in good condition. Your drums have no cracks, and your brake shoes have at least a 1/4 inch of pad thickness and are clean and dry. Your inner and outer tire sidewalls have no cuts or bulges, and your tread depth is at least 2/32 of an inch. Your tires are properly inflated, and the inner and outer rims are free of cracks, bends, and illegal welds. All lug nuts are present, secure, and have no rust trails indicating looseness. Your hub oil level is good, and the seals are not leaking. You will now check your rear trailer axle, just like the front axle. You will check your front and rear spring mounts and springs. You will check your electric brake lines, drums, and linings. You will check your inner hub oil seal, inner rims, inner sidewalls, and your tire for at least 2/32 inch tread depth. The outer sidewalls are in good condition and the rims have no illegal welds, bends, or cracks. All lug nuts are tight and the hub oil seal is not leaking and is filled to the proper level. Your splash guards are secure and your rear lights and reflectors are in good condition and working, and the license plate is mounted and matches the registration. The ramps are properly secured to the trailer and fastened to the trailer with ropes or chains to prevent movement. The right side of your truck and trailer are to be checked exactly like the left side with a few exceptions. You will also check the steps and grab handles leading into the truck bed and then your fuel tank. The fuel tank is secured with rubber straps to prevent metal-to-metal contact. The cap is secure with a rubber gasket and there are no leaks from the tank or fuel lines, and the fuel level matches the gauge in the cab. You will now close your hood and proceed with your in-cab inspection. You will check your door latches to be sure that they work properly from inside. Your seat belt is in good condition, is tight, and it latches and releases properly. All of the glass, your front windshield, side windows, and rear are free from cracks and stickers. Both mirrors are clean and adjusted to you. Make sure you have a good shifter knob and that the shifter boot is in good condition with no cracks which could let fumes into the cab. Next, you will depress the clutch, put the shifter in neutral, and start your engine. Your oil pressure should build within 5 seconds. The coolant temperature will rise within 5 minutes, and your volts are within the green zone. Your fuel gauge is working, and it matches what is in your tank, and the air pressure is building. Your left and right turn signal indicators are working, as well as your 4-way flashers. Now turn on your headlights and be sure the high beam indicator works. The windshield wipers and washers work. There is no more than 2 inches of free play on a 20-inch steering wheel. The electric and air horns are operable, and the heater and defroster both blow air on all speeds. When the air pressure has built to normal pressure, you will begin your air brake check. With full pressure in your tanks, you will shut off your engine and turn your key back to the run position. You will push in your truck air supply valve to charge your system. After the initial 10 to 15 psi drop, you will apply firm pressure to the brake pedal and watch for a loss of no more than 3 psi in 1 minute for a truck and trailer with electric brakes and 4 psi with an air brake trailer. You will now fan your brake pressure down by pumping the brakes, and make sure your alarm and warning indicator light comes on before the pressure drops below 60 psi. Now, you will continue pumping your brakes to fan off pressure until your truck air supply valve pops out, automatically setting your spring brakes between 20 and 40 psi. You will now start your engine and build up air pressure until it governs out between 100 and 125 psi. You will then remove your chocks and re-enter the cab with the parking brake pulled out, and you will now place your truck in a lower gear and pulling forward against the spring brakes to be sure they are holding. You will now check your trailer electric brake by pushing the truck air supply valve back in and pulling the trailer brake switch on and lightly pulling against the brakes as you did with your truck brakes. You will now do a roll test. Pull forward at 5 miles per hour and apply the service brake pedal and check to see if your truck brakes pull to either side. This now concludes the air brake test. You will now offer, with help from the examiner, to check all exterior lights, low and high beams, turn signals, four-ways, brake lights, and trailer lights. This concludes your pre-trip inspection. Just a couple points to remember on your road test. Preparing to drive. Be sure to buckle up first thing. Be sure to have your clutch down and the shifter in neutral before starting the engine. See that the mirrors are adjusted to you, and be sure your lights are on before driving. While driving, watch the traffic all around you and check your mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. Always use the clutch when shifting. Never change lanes in an intersection. Always move your head from side to side while looking down the road to both sides as you enter a straight-through intersection. Never shift while turning, and always keep both hands on the wheel during turns. Keep track of signs and be able to recall what you just passed. Be especially attentive to height and clearance signs. Never shift while crossing a railroad. Do not shift on an emergency stop. Go downhill in one gear lower than you climbed it in, and use light, steady brake pressure. Always travel slowly around curves, and keep your cargo's center of gravity low and very well secured. Always remember to watch traffic all around you, check mirrors, and travel at a safe speed. Set the brake as soon as you stop, and remember to chock your wheels when you get out. This now concludes the Davis H. Elliott Company's CDL video. Remember, drive safely.